Hi everyone, my name is Maddie, welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video where I'm going to be doing a get ready with me whilst reacting to your assumptions. So as you can probably tell, I have absolutely no makeup on, which is pretty commonplace for the vlogs you will have seen of me, but is definitely not the norm for this kind of sit down video. By the end of it, I'll be looking a bit more like normal, but basically I've been meaning to film an assumptions reaction video for forever. I've asked you guys for assumptions on like multiple occasions and never got around to filming the video, so I'm finally gonna film it. But I've had a couple people, literally a couple people recently asking about like how I do my makeup, some of the products I use, especially like my highlighters and stuff. So I may as well just tell you what I do for my makeup. I will say this now. I know nothing about skincare, I know nothing about makeup, I do what works for me. It has been gradually worked out over many, many years of doing makeup, but I don't have a clue what I am doing. I cannot tell you that enough. I literally don't have a clue what I'm doing. So please don't come for me, and please don't take any of my tips / what I do as a good method, because I don't know what I'm doing. It's complete guesswork after many years. So yes. Don't trust anything I say, and I apologise for what you're probably about to see because it's not good. I've basically just perfected the quickest way of doing makeup that I think looks nice, so obviously it'll take me longer now because I'm going to be chatting, but this makeup you're going to see takes me about 5 to 10 minutes max. And if it took longer than that, I wouldn't do it, unless I was going on like a night out. Okay, so the first step in my routine and the first assumption we're going to react to, I'm not actually going to do this step because I've already done it this morning, because it's like 11 AM, is moisturizer. My whole skincare routine is like washing my face with a flannel and then moisturizing. That's it. I do nothing else. I don't know what I'm doing. But I use Estee Lauder. I feel like such a beauty guru. It's ridiculous. Estee Lauder Day Wear for normal combination skin. This is not cheap, but I do swear by it. It is the only moisturizer I get on with. I tend to have quite dry skin. In certain areas it's like really flaky, but other than that my skin's completely fine, hence why I get normal combination, not the dry skin version, because I don't want something heavier. But this works really well for me. I'll say this is a general before reacting to the assumption. My products I use are this weird mishmash between really cheap and really pricey. There is no reason for this other than trial and error over the years, and these are the things I've ended up on that I like. I'm gradually migrating to more expensive stuff, but not for any rhyme or reason. It's just I have the opportunity to try it and end up liking it. So again, no logic to anything. But this leads very nicely into the first assumption from Ray at Our Potential Reads. And she has said, "You don't care too much for makeup or being overly dressy, you give me casual, comfy vibes." Kind of. I really, really love how I look when I've done my makeup and it's gone well. I am way too lazy to do it regularly. Unless I'm gonna be in front of a camera, I just don't do it. Even though I love it and I'm like, oh, I love this so much, I should do it more often, I just don't. Casual, comfy vibes, fair. I'm in a jumper and joggers at the moment. You saw my foot. So yeah, that's a fair assumption. I do like dressing up, but not in what most people would consider dressy. I'm kind of working on my style at the moment, but I like big baggy kind of cargo pants and really baggy t-shirts layered over things, or like shirts tied, stuff like that. So it doesn't look dressy. Like I will wear really pretty dresses, like take me to a ball where I get to wear a full length dress, I'm in. But I also generally like kind of baggier silhouettes or like a crop top. I don't even know, but it doesn't feel dressy. But that's me dressed up. I want to say it's edgy, but it's really not, but I wish it was. That's the goal. I'm just not very successful with it. Okay, so got my makeup bag here. Going on to the first actual step of makeup. Concealer. This is Nars Creamy Concealer. I use the shade, I think it's like 01 Scintilla. Light 1 Chantilly. We're doing well already, I don't know what it's called. This is Nars. It's not the cheapest, but I swear by this stuff. The actual only reason I started using Nars instead of cheap stuff is because I couldn't find something pale enough. I am very pale, and everything in like Boots and Superdrug was way too orange. Way too orange, so I had to go with Nars because they actually do pale stuff and it makes me happy. Okay, the next assumption I'm gonna react to whilst doing this is kind of a couple of them I'm gonna like take all together because they kind of relate to each other. I've had a few people ask a few questions about, I would say, like sexuality and relationships, so we'll do those. Okay, so there's a lot of questions, well not questions, assumptions of like, you're not straight, you're more attracted to women than men, you're single but not looking for anything, you don't want to have kids, all this sort of stuff. So we're gonna get into all of those. I'm just gonna do that, there we go, so I can get my concealer actually onto my face. This is normally the bare minimum I do for a vlog, is if I have kind of dodgy skin, which I do at the moment, then I just do some concealer. And then I'm happy. Okay, so firstly, sexuality. I am indeed not straight. I'm just covering my whole face. I don't know how to do this. You can tell I've never done makeup on video before. Okay, but yes, I am indeed not straight. I am bi. That has been the case for many, many years. I mean, forever, but you know. I have a Q&A I've put up before where I like went into more detail about, not my coming out story, because I've said this I think before on here, I don't come out, I'm lazy. I drop it into conversation and then go, oh, wait, I hadn't told those people, good, now they know. I don't come out, I can't be bothered with it. If people can't deal with it being dropped in casually, then that's their problem, not mine. So I don't come out, I just mention it on the fly and see if people pick up on it, and if they don't, then good for them. I think I've come out properly to one person, and I don't know why I did it. But yeah, I'm not straight, I am bi. The whole more attracted to women than men thing, I'm gonna say a couple things on this. Number one, no. I've never particularly assessed my whole like percentage attraction to each gender. I find it a bit odd. Personally, if that's what works for you, it's cool. I'm just attracted to who I'm attracted to, and I'm not gonna think too much past it. I again mentioned that Q&A that I did kind of feel like I found my type in women through TikTok in the last year or so, but at the same time, I don't have a type in anyone, or if I do, I don't stick to it, so no, screw that. But I will also say, just as a thing, and this is not coming from anyone who said this, because this is very much like my personal thing, I have seen so much on the internet in the past few months, year, of I'm bi, I love being attracted to women, ugh, I'm attracted to men, and it pisses me off. Like, if that's genuinely how you feel, fine. But I hate this whole thing that's coming through, that if you're a bi woman, that it's really cool to be attracted to women and it's kind of grim to be attracted to men, but you have to suck it up. Like, no, you're allowed to be attracted to both, and that's not a bad thing, or more. I mean, I'm just putting it in two terms for the sake of ease, but I hate this thing that's coming through recently, and it's made me personally feel guilty for being attracted to men, which feels like very the wrong way around for how the world should be, or not how the world should be, but how the world has been. And it's made me feel like I'm not bi because I am attracted to men and I'm happy about that. And it's the most frustrating, pointless stereotype that has recently appeared on the internet, and I cannot be bothered with it. So that's my take on that. Bit of a hot take there. I mean, it shouldn't be, but yeah, so not particularly attracted to one over the other. I have, however, not ever dated a woman. I don't feel the need to give you my relationship history. I don't feel like it makes any difference to my sexuality, but I haven't. I mean, if you put it down to sheer statistics, there are more straight men than there are not straight women, as far as we're aware. They're much easier to find, especially on a male-dominated industry, which is very much what I've worked in pretty much my whole life that I've been dating. So yes, I've only dated men. They're easier to find. Let's put it that way. It's simpler. They're easier to find. The other assumption kind of coming through with this whole thing is you are single. Yes, I am single. I have been for quite a while. I probably will be for quite a while. People saying like you're not really looking for anything. I'm not actively looking for anything, but I never am. I'm too lazy. I have dating apps and I scroll on them and I don't talk to anyone because I can't be bothered. But I'm not like averse to dating or anything like that. It's just if I meet someone, which, you know, it's a pandemic, so we don't meet anyone at the moment. If I meet someone, great. If I don't, okay, fine. But I do have a great joy at the moment of watching rom-coms and being sad that I'm single. So, you know, take that how you will. Then the final thing before we move on from this whole sexuality relationship section is not wanting kids. I feel like this is a big answer, so I might do my brows whilst answering this. Okay, just very quickly, for my eyebrows, I use the Max Factor Brow Shaper, which is this, and the shade is 02 Brown. 20 brown. I'm not good at this at all. And it's just a little pencil-y thing. I didn't do my brows at all until I was about 19 or 20. I don't pluck them, I don't do anything, I leave them as is, but I do now fill them in a little bit. More than anything to even them out, because you can see this one's relatively rounded and this one's really pointy. So I just kind of try and even them out a little bit. Okay, so whilst we're doing this, let's talk about kids. Wanting, not wanting. Oh, doing this with a handheld mirror is difficult. So, quick answer, I don't know. I don't have one single iota of a clue. I mean, I'm 22. This is not a decision I need to make now. I'm 22 and single, so I don't have a clue what I'm gonna want many years down the track. But for now, basically, I won't go fully into it because it's not that kind of video and I don't actually have answers to go into. But basically, I don't know. The one thing I do know is the idea of being pregnant freaks me the hell out and has done for a very, very, very long time. The whole concept makes me feel really uncomfy. I'm not sure it's something I would want to do. And this comes from a lot of different places. It comes from just like the concept of something growing in me kind of freaks me out. I will also admit it comes from body image side of things, that I'm not necessarily the happiest with my body image all the time, like a lot of people. And so I feel like for some reason pregnancy would absolutely screw with that and make it 10 times worse. So I don't know if it's something I ever want to do. I would be very up for adoption or surrogacy or any way of having a kid that doesn't involve me carrying it. If I ever decide I want kids / I'm with a partner who does. I don't know. It's a big maybe. I have this kind of, oh my God, give me 2 seconds, I'm gonna fix my eyebrow because I can't do this whilst talking, then we'll continue with this conversation. Mirror just made a break for freedom. Okay, eyebrows done, or at least done well enough. I'm, again, not particularly picky. If they look vaguely okay, they're done. So, yeah, I have this weird thing about even wanting kids. If I kind of picture myself with kids, like I have names picked out, I have plans for like what sport I'd make them do, what kind of schooling I want them to have, all of that I've thought about a lot. But I don't know whether I've done that because of society or done that because I want kids. Again, I'm 22. This is not something I need to have figured out particularly soon. So that's that whole thing with kids. A big, I don't know, I'm gonna think about that when I need to, not right now. So take from that what you will. Great, next 2 assumptions. Again, I'm gonna kind of group a few because they kind of go together. I'm gonna go with like friendship, extrovert, introvert, and also like this one. I don't know how to summarize it, but this one we're gonna go through as well. Okay, so we're gonna do this whilst doing my face. So we're gonna do like bronzer and stuff. Quick interlude for product. I use the Body Shop Coconut Bronze. The only reason I use this stuff is because it's pale enough for me. Again, with the avoiding anything orange. This stuff works well for me. I used it for years and years. I literally inherited it from my mother and now continued to use it. So, firstly, someone said, I assume you love your friends. Hell yeah, I love my friends. My friends are absolutely great. Why am I trying to do this in a viewfinder? That was a mistake. Let's do it in my mirror that I have right here. So yes, I do indeed absolutely love my friends. Of course I do, they're great. And that is both bookish friends and real life friends. I will quickly say, because, you know, kind of relevant, I have never in my life been someone who had a big friendship group. It's not been a thing I've ever done. I've had a lot of friendship groups over the years which have fizzled out. Like, I barely have any friends from school. I have kind of 1 or 2 very small friendship groups from uni. It's just not a thing. I've always been like that person who has 2 or 3 really close friends and then that's kind of it. That's just always been the way. However, that is currently changing quite significantly because of the internet. I suddenly have a group of like 10 to 20 people I chat to on a regular basis, which is terrifying and weird, but really cool. So yes, I love my friends, of course. Next thing, blush. This is one of my expensive ones. We have Clinique. Sorry, everything is so dirty. I am not bougie at all. I just throw everything into a makeup bag and then it travels with me across the country. And this is 107 Sunset Glow. I'll try and show you that. You go, that's the shade. Again, one that's not too dark because I'm pale. And this, I just put, you know, typical placement, top of my cheeks. And then, because I think I'm cool from TikTok, on my nose. Because that's a new thing that I've started doing and I quite like it. So that's a thing we do now. I'm not cool enough for it, but we do it anyway. Definitely put too much on today though. It shows up so much more in camera than it does in my mirror. Like, in my mirror you can barely see it, and then on camera it looks like I've gone mad. I will admit, it's very weird doing makeup and then looking at it on camera because some things like eye makeup, you can go as huge as you want and it doesn't even show up. And some things like face makeup, you can do nothing and it looks crazy. So very hard to judge what looks good on camera. So anyway, yes, I love my friends. They're great. Extrovert, introvert. One person got it spot on. ambivert. I am absolutely both. For years I thought I was an extrovert, and I probably just about lean closer to that still. However, not really. I love being in groups, and I can feel very energetic in groups and very energized by groups. I can also feel completely drained by groups, and I do definitely have to have time on my own to recharge. So it definitely goes both ways. I can feel recharged in both ways. I can feel drained in both ways. It varies. I have lent closer and closer to introverted as time has gone on, as I've got older. I don't know whether that's just due to the nature of the stuff I do. Like when you're at school, you're seeing big groups of people regularly. When you're at uni, it's a bit less. You do more work by yourself. Don't know if that's why. Who knows? But that's kind of where that's at. Okay, next I'm going to do my highlighter, and a few people have asked about this. So this is the Clinique Chubby stick. I don't even know what it's called. Sculpting Highlight is what I use, and it's in the shade 01 Hefty Highlight. Again, the palest one. It's kind of pink toned. I know different skin tones like different things. And it's literally a chubby stick like this. And I literally, it's so easy. As I've said, my goal for my makeup is to make it as quick and easy as possible. And so I get it and I do a swipe on that cheek, a swipe on that cheek, and a tiny bit on my nose, like that. And then I literally just go like pat, 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 and then like pat, 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 pat. That's highlight done. That's literally all I do. That one's a bit much, so we'll pat it a bit more. We've gone a bit hard on the face makeup today, and I don't know why. My makeup is in no way consistent. It never has been and it never will be. I literally eyeball it every time I do it. Why am I so shiny today? Lighting's not playing ball, makeup's not playing ball, we're carrying on. Oh, so then the one I was gonna react to is like, you will hold your opinions and give your opinions no matter what anyone thinks. Yeah. This used to be in a bad way. When I was younger, I would be really quite judgy of something I didn't feel was a good thing. And I'd be very vocal about that, and it did not do me well with making friends. I learned very quickly to hold my opinions to myself unless necessary. I am never scared to speak out on something if I feel like it's important. I've lost friends because of this, but I will continue to do so. I will very, very happily entertain both sides of a point and discuss things till kingdom come. As long as you're not like disguising bigotry as an opinion, then you can fuck off. But I also know where my opinion stands on a lot of things, and I'm always willing for those to be changed. If new evidence is provided and I see a new viewpoint, fine, my opinion will change. I have no shame in that. But I'm pretty solid on most of my opinions and things, and yeah, not afraid to share them, not afraid to stand by them. Okay, so like the next set of assumptions, actually just really quickly, product I'm using. This is where we get into seriously cheap and cheerful products. The eyeshadow primer I use is Revolution Focus and Fix, and you can see how destroyed this is. I've been using this forever because they made a new one and changed the formula, and the new one is shit. So I'm still using my old one until it runs out, and then I'm probably gonna get like the Urban Decay one because I've heard really good things, to be honest. And again, we just go one on that eye, one on that eye, and then smoosh with my finger until it vaguely covers the whole area that I'm planning to put eyeshadow on. And that's literally it. I am so lazy when it comes to makeup. It's actually ridiculous. Also, I'm not gonna do eyeliner or anything in this video because that would take me too long and too stressful. Plus, I very rarely do it. So the next kind of group of assumptions, reading. Lots of questions or assumptions about like, did I read a lot as a kid? Did my mum read a lot to me as a child? Did I read as a teen? All of this. So overview, when I was a really young kid, didn't read that much, was never really my thing unless the book had animals in it. So Animal Arc I read a lot of, and the Sheltie, the Shetland Pony books I loved. Until my school, when I was probably about 8, 9 or 10, probably about 8 or 9, my school were like, right, you can't read animal books, you need to read proper books. So they started forcing me to read proper books, and they kind of tried. They gave me like Black Beauty, because it's a classic, but it has a horse in it. Hated it, so boring. Ended up actually, because we had to summarize it at school to prove we'd read it. My mum read it and gave me the summary because I didn't want to, and she agreed it was not a good choice. So my school were really dead set on pushing me to read more complex things I didn't want to read. And I didn't enjoy reading the ones I did because they were easy. I enjoyed them because of the animals. If you'd given me a more complex version of Animal Arc, I would have devoured it. So there was a bit of a like disconnect there. And so then I didn't really read past primary school when, you know, you had to be reading all the time. I know in my primary school we had an hour after lunch every day, or like half an hour after lunch every day, which was called silent reading, when you had to sit and read. And then they'd call people up to the teacher's desk to read out loud to like check how you were doing, which fair, but the second that stopped, I stopped reading. Then when I was about, God, I must have been 12 or 13, I think, somewhere around there, my friend Catherine, who I don't actually, not really friends with anymore, just don't really speak to her, just lost contact, but my friend Catherine was a huge reader. I remember she was reading Hunger Games, she showed us all about Hunger Games, and she was part of something called Spine Breakers, which was a Penguin publishing thing to get teens into reading. And what it was they sent you 2 free books every month, and you had to write a review and a creative piece for each book. And she was part of this, and as part of this, she had something to do with the release of The Fault in Our Stars, and she had to get as many people as possible to take a photo holding the book, and I don't even know what, like give a quote or something, I can't even remember, but I was one of the people that offered to do it for her, and I decided to read the book out of interest. And I think I'd just got into reading just before this. I remember for Christmas, I was given Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver and Blood Ties by Sophie Mackenzie, both of which I devoured. And then this happened with Catherine, and I was like, wait, this is really interesting. And she told me all about Spine Breakers, so then I signed up to Spine Breakers, and oh my God, the reading just took off. This was in the height of YA dystopia, and Divergent was my favorite thing ever. I adored it. I loved the Lauren Oliver series Delirium. I loved the Matched trilogy by Ali Condé. I'm kind of considering rereading Matched, I'm not gonna lie. I loved it so much. Just so many amazing books, and so many of them from Spine Breakers. I actually got an advanced copy of the final book in the Matched trilogy from Spine Breakers. Crazy, I was like 14, 15 and didn't know what I was doing. So that was the whole thing I did. I went to like author events, like I interviewed Rick Yancey, who wrote The Fifth Wave, when I was like 15. Craziness. So I did all of that, and then GCSEs hit. I did a lot of theatre at school, I did a lot of orchestras at school, and I did quite a lot of GCSEs to quite a high level. My school were like really intense about work, so I did not have enough hours for reading. So when I was like 15, 16, I completely stopped reading. I just didn't have enough hours in the day. I was doing probably 4 or 5 hours a week of theatre rehearsal, 3 or 4 hours a week of ballet at least, 3 or 4 hours a week of orchestra plus school. So, you know, not a free time being left for reading, so I completely stopped reading. That continued the whole way through A-levels, didn't read a thing, not at all. And in the summer between finishing school and starting uni, I, out of pure interest, decided to pick up the Harry Potter series. I'd never read it, I grew up on the films, and will admit I devoured it. I never actually finished it. I read half of book 2 and then didn't finish it because I left the book when I was away. So I just continued to book 3, and then I never actually read book 7. I no longer want anything to do with that series at all. But anyway, I read that and I was like, oh, I've got back into reading. No, first year uni, didn't have time. And then the summer between my first and second year of uni, I did an internship at an engineering company, and this required living in a hotel Monday to Friday, like I currently do. But I was on my own and I was 19, so there was nothing to do. So it was very, very boring. And then also for 4 weeks of this, I was in Belfast, so I had flights every week. So I needed something to pass the time. And so I picked up some books, and I started by rereading the Dead Beautiful series by Yvonne Woon. And oh my God, it just spiraled from there. This was around the time that I discovered BookTube and Bookstagram and all of that. And so I was getting 1,000,001 recommendations, you know, Grisha series and everything else. The Schwab, you know, all of that jazz. And then when I started my Bookstagram in like 2018, I think it must be, maybe 2017? Not sure, there, somewhere there. Yeah, it might be 2017 actually, my second year of uni. Yeah, 2017. And then started BookTube that summer, stopped it, obviously started again last year. So I've been reading very consistently since then. So it's been like 3.5 years now. Yeah, it's been 3.5 years. I started reading July 2017, so I read half 2017, 18, 19, 20, and now a bit of 2021. So that is the very long answer to how I've been reading, and now I'm actually going to do my eye makeup. So, eyeshadow palettes. I have a million. I always use the same one. I don't know why I have loads. And these are cheap as hell, like cheap as hell. It's also really just disgusting, I do apologise. I get them from TK Maxx. I think this is the equivalent of TJ Maxx in America. They have a whole makeup stand, and palettes are like £6. Yeah, this was $5.99, and they're super cheap, and you can see which colours I use, can't you? And it's literally just really, really cheap, like orangey pinky colours, which is normally what I use because I have blue eyes and I think they look nice. So this is it. You will literally see, like, evidence of how cheap it is. The hinge broke, so I've got sellotape on. It's the hinge. Like, that's This is what I use, and it's almost run out in the colors I use, and it's making me real sad. This is the quality of makeup palette I use. Almost all of mine are this kind of cheap. I own one expensive one from Stila, which I very rarely use anymore because it's much more gold tone, which I like sometimes, but I tend to like the slightly more orangey ones now. But this is the level we use. I ain't expensive, I ain't bougie, we go cheap as hell. And in terms of technique, I don't have any. I put a vaguely dark color like in my crease, I put a darker color right in the corner, and then I normally put something shiny on the main bit of my eye because it's fun. That's it, that's literally it. So that's kind of color 1, just there. I'm using a slightly darker color. So that's kind of color 2. And then just with my finger, I get like this really bright gold color, gold orange, and just on the main bit of my eye. So that's looking like that. And then I get this like what used to be white shimmer, but there's barely any left. Like try and get some of that out, go a little bit, and I just put that in the inside corner. I definitely need to find a new white shimmery one because it's so nearly run out. And then I get a slightly more like precise brush, and I just get like that first color I used and do like under my eye a little bit to kind of connect it up. I don't know if you can even see that, but that's literally it. And then I realize my hands are covered in eyeshadow and I need to go get that off. So that's pretty much my makeup. I'll do mascara and lippy in a minute, but let's see if there's any more assumptions to quickly react to first. Okay, so this is interesting. We've got a couple here again. I'm gonna group. We've got, I assume you're a fast reader. I assume you're a fast learner. You don't like your major and you want to change, and you don't like your job. Very negative, some of these. So fast reader, decently. My perspective is extremely warped because of BookTube. Everyone reads so fast that I don't actually know if I count as fast anymore. I would say my average is a page a minute. On a fast day or a fast book, I can do up to like 80 pages an hour. In some middle grade, it's more like 100 pages an hour, but in some adult fantasy, it's like 30 pages in an hour. So huge variety depending on what I'm reading, but generally, yeah, pretty quick. Fast learner, yes, I pick up concepts extremely quickly. I sometimes struggle to get the detail. The thing I've always found is I cannot rote learn, but I'm very good with concepts. So if you say, this is a concept, this is how it works, go apply it, fine. If you say, memorize this phrase and repeat it, no, not a chance. Can't do it for my life, always been awful at it. No, it just doesn't work for me at all. And it's one of the reasons for my A-levels, which are the exams you do at age 18 in the UK, or ish, 17, 18. I did physics and chemistry, which had more application, and actually ended up dropping biology, which is a lot of rote learning. Didn't get on with it, not for me. So yes to a fast learner. In terms of liking my major, I didn't really, I'm not in uni anymore. I did mechanical engineering and I didn't love it. But it was, I don't think there would have been something better for me to do. It was applied physics, which is basically what I wanted to do. I loved physics and I didn't want to do the full theory. So applying it is interesting. I liked a lot of the structure of the degree, that it was a lot of group work, even though group work is infuriating, but lots of like opportunities to lead teams and things like that, which I loved. And it set me up very well for having any career I wanted, basically, other than like vocational stuff. Obviously, like can't be a doctor or an engineering degree, but yeah, it wasn't exactly my passion. But then again, I don't think any academic subject would have been. So it was fine. And I like my job. I like my job a lot. It's very intense, and so you probably hear me complain about it a lot because it's a lot of hours and a lot of days away from home. But it's good, it's interesting. It's literally the job I dreamed of. Like, I won't go into full detail, but I had an offer to start somewhere else in February. And then in October, this job came back to me because I had not got it the previous year's application and was meant to re-interview for it when COVID hit. And they came back to me in October and said, hey, would you like to re-interview? And I said yes. And then there was a whole chaos, which I won't go into, it's a long story. And I ended up re-interviewing and getting it and then starting in January. So it was really quick turnaround, but it was literally the job I really wanted last year and missed out on, so cannot complain. And I'm very happy with it. Okay, mascara. Again, we're going basic. I use this Maybelline Colossal Waterproof. It's very basic. It's literally just a waterproof mascara. And this came from when I was 16 and going to prom. We got a neighbour across the road to do her makeup for me, and I do not have very long eyelashes. I have quite pale eyelashes because my hair's not that dark, and she used this, and for the first time in my life I had eyelashes, and so I still use it. She didn't use the waterproof version, but I rub my eyes a lot, so I need the waterproof version so it stays. And I normally only do one layer, but I've literally, this is a brand new one, it's the second time I'm using it, and it's much thinner when you first use it Obviously it thickens over time, which is probably not a good thing, but it does. And so I'm probably gonna do 2 coats whilst it's really thin, and then as it gets thicker over time, I'll probably go back down to 1. You can see the difference though, already. There we go, so that's mascara. I might go back in and do a second layer in a minute, but that is that. Okay, so we've kind of got 2 more to react to. First being, I assume you're very shy when you first meet people and then you're outgoing when you get to know them. Yes and no. I am quite shy, especially in a group setting, but my way to combat shyness and just me in general, I am a complete open book. Obviously not completely on the internet because, you know, privacy. But I will pretty much tell anyone anything within about 5 minutes of meeting them. Too many people know my whole life story. I just don't shut up. I just keep talking. So I am a massive open book. Like some of my internet friends will tell me this. Steph and Pris especially, we had one video call where topics were discussed and just, I didn't hold back. I do not care. I will talk about anything. I'm quite confident in that way. Like if you can't take me at face value, I can't be bothered. I don't have the energy to pretend to not be me, so we just go with it. So yes, I'm quite shy in group settings and quite awkward. I've mentioned this to people before. I cannot small talk for my life. If you expect me to small talk, I will panic. I cannot do it. I just can't find anything to say. I freeze. But if you get me into like an interesting topic, I will not shut up and will instantly not be shy anymore if I've got something to talk about. So that's kind of the line there. And then the last assumption we have is you're actually very good at darts / you like playing darts in your free time. So we'll answer that whilst doing my lipstick, which is kind of the last step. So I use this number 7 lipstick. I've used lots over the years. I have an Estee Lauder one I really like, but this, I wanted like a nudie pink, and one of my friends had this and I saw it on them. I was like, that's awesome, can I try it? Tried it, loved it. So stole the shade from them, and it is Honey Bloom 740. Apparently. I don't know if you can read that, but we're gonna hope that's focused. If not, I'll pop it up on screen. And this is just like nudie pink color. And I used to use a brush for lipstick, and again, we got lazy, so I just smack it on. And the joy of not using particularly bright colors is it doesn't matter if it goes over the edges, no one can tell. So that's my lipstick. So that's pretty much my makeup. This is how I look when I film. This will probably look quite familiar to you. But the last reaction, and then I'll very quickly mention one other thing. Last reaction, I like playing darts, I'm good at it. I like it, it's fun. I played quite a lot uni, never like properly, but if we had like an hour's gap between lectures, there were like 9 campus bars at my uni, because there were 9 colleges, and they all had dartboards, so we just all bought darts, and if you had like an hour's break, you'd go grab food at the bar and play darts. It was good fun, but I was always absolutely shit at it. That's definitely not changed. I'm absolutely awful at it. That's always been the case. So yeah, never been good. And then the very last makeup-y thing I'll talk about, just a few things, is you will notice I didn't put any foundation on. I very, very, very rarely wear foundation. I've mentioned my skin's not great, so like cheeks, chin, that area, fine. Forehead, nose, I get really like crusty skin, and if I put foundation on it makes it look worse. But when I do wear foundation, I use the number 7 Airbrush Away primer, which I love, and I actually sometimes use even if I'm not wearing foundation. I've just forgotten its existence for the past few months. And then for foundation, I use the MAC Pro Longwear Nourishing Foundation in NW15. This is a waterproof foundation. I don't use it because it's waterproof. It's just, again, they had pale enough foundation for me, so I got on with it, so I used that. And then final thing I'll mention is if I'm doing eyeliner, I sometimes do like cat eyeliner, though not very often because it takes me too long. I use the Maybelline New York Hyper Precise All Day in Forest Brown. It's just a little pen kind of thing, and it has a felt tip kind of tip. Very good for getting, oh my god, this is not gonna go well. Very good for getting like precise lines. It works well for me. So that's what I use. I use it in black or brown. Normally brown nowadays. I used to do black more, but I tend to do brown a bit more now. A little bit subtler. But that's it. That's it for my makeup. I literally don't know what I'm doing. I've just worked out a system that I think makes my face look kind of cool. So I don't know why I've been rambling for 45 minutes on not knowing how to do makeup and some random assumptions, but there you go. That was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I've literally just used this video as an excuse for me to get ready so I can now film something else with my makeup done. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're having a good day. If you have any other assumptions, drop them down below. If you have any questions about my makeup, drop them down below. I will try and list the products in the description. Wish me luck on that. It's gonna be awkward. I don't know how to list things like this, but I'll do my best. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you'd like to see more content from me. Links to all of my other social media, as well as the book clubs and read-alongs I host, are down below, along with my wishlist and Patreon if you want to check out any of that or connect on any other platform. But that is it for the video, so bye, and I'll see you in the next one.